Hello. For your next assignment, it's going to be 4 assignments. You're going to be doing a dessert drawing in oil pastels. So if you go into Schoology, go into materials and look at the top. There will be this folder that says dessert, and it's in a pink file because a lot of desserts are pink. And go ahead and open that up after you watch the video. And you'll notice that there are 4 parts. So 4 parts. Why don't you find me in the room, make eye contact with me, not here on the video, but look for me and hold up 4 so that I know that you are doing 4 different parts. So find me in the room and wave at me and smile. All right, great. Okay, so let's go over these. Part 1. This is your preliminary drawings. Go ahead and click that. And there's 3 videos here. Notice how to draw a cupcake, cake, and ice cream. You can watch the videos and then you'll draw them. You'll do it in your sketchbook, or if you're doing it at home on just a blank white sheet of paper. Do it in pencil, please, even though they're using Sharpie in these videos. Do it in pencil and don't color it in yet. Do it all on one page. And I have an example right here. I've done all 3 of the videos on one page, and you'll notice my ice cream cone is on its side. It's fine. The idea is to fill up the page as much as possible because you will be coloring them in, but not until you do step 2. So part 1, hold up a 1 so I know that you know this is part 1. Show me, find me in the room. Okay, part 1. For part 1, you're going to submit this drawing on Schoology, not colored in. Okay, then we go back to our dessert file, and then we'll go to part 2. Now in part 2, you are going to color them in. When you show me part 1, that you finished it and submitted on Schoology, I'm going to give you some oil pastels. And you're going to color it in, but you're not going to just color it. What you're going to do is you're going to watch this video here, Oil Pastel Techniques. It's going to give you a bunch of techniques. And the 6 techniques specifically that I want you to focus on are blending, layering, stippling, scrumbling, sgraffito, tint and shade. Tint and shade we're going to treat as one technique, and what that means is tinting is adding white or a lighter color to make something lighter, like a highlight, and shade is adding a darker color like black or like a darker blue or a dark purple to make something darker. So we're shading it. And you should already know a little bit about scumbling and stippling from our other assignments that we've done. So you're going to use these 6 techniques to color in this according to the video here. Now the video is going to show you those techniques. It'll show you in little squares. You can do that for practice, but I don't want to see it. That's on you. You could do it for practice separate and then do it here, or you can just watch the videos and then do those techniques here. But make sure you show me all 6 techniques on this and that you have labeled them. That's the important thing. Number 5, label each technique and draw an arrow to them. So if we look over here, you can see right here, I've got, I could do a slideshow really quickly. I don't even know if you can still see me, but actually I won't do that. You can see it's slightly different, but they have these techniques. There's tint, there's stippling, and they have the arrows to it. Okay, so that's part 2. After you've done part 2, it's all colored in, you show that to me, and then you get to do part 3. So hold up 3 fingers and wave at me, knowing that we're going on to part 3. Okay, go ahead and go to dessert, part 3, preliminary drawings. Okay, so these are preliminary drawings. You're also going to be putting this on Schoology. Every one of these has to be posted on Schoology. For these preliminary drawings, they're just what we call, if you look down here, it's called a thumbnail sketch. Now, if you think of what is a thumbnail, it's just a little itty bitty thing. Okay. Now, we don't want to make our sketches as small because no one can draw that small. We won't be able to see it. And it'll actually take you too long to do that. So, but your thumbnail sketches want to be about the size of a Post-it note. And the reason I'm having you do this is because I don't want you to come to me and say, Miss Kramer, I'm going to draw a cake. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Tell me about it. No, you're not telling me anything. You're going to show me. And so you'll show me at least 2. And honestly, I think you should have more ideas. And you might say, okay, well, I was thinking putting my my drawing landscape, and I was going to do a slice of cake and a donut. But then I was also thinking maybe I'll point the cake the other direction, also landscape, and have a cup of coffee. Or maybe I'll just do a piece of cake and put it behind like a starburst. Or maybe I'll do four pieces of cake and do them all like decorated different. Or maybe I won't do cake at all. Maybe I'll just do a whole cake with a slice taken out of it. Or perhaps instead of cake, I'll just do some candy bars. And instead of landscape, I'll do this is portrait, right? So you're gonna draw out the shape of the paper and the direction you want the paper to be in. And this whole thing, all of 5, 6 drawings here, it took me less than 10 minutes. It's quick. It's just you're sketching out ideas. It's real brainstorming, rough draft stuff. You show this to me, then I'm going to give you a black piece of paper so that you can now start on part 4. And that's going to be your final drawing. So take a look here. And it's going to be on a larger sheet of paper. I think those paper are 18 by 24, so that's the biggest you've worked on yet, but that's okay, you can do it. And the reason we also did those first drawings was so that if you don't feel comfortable drawing any old dessert, you already know how to draw a cupcake. They're really easy. Let me show you, and here we've got a rubric. You can look this over, and I'll of course be around to answer questions, but let me show you some inspiration stuff. So it's in the style of either Wayne Thiebaud or pop artists. Now, this is not student work. This is Wayne Thiebaud. And if you notice, look at the shadows. He's got, because I want shading, I want highlights. This is a culmination of everything that we've done. And you know, he's got highlights, a little shine on the cherry there. But his shadows, they're not gray, they're not black. He uses all these colors that you naturally wouldn't see, but that makes sense anyway. So I want you to be inspired by things like this. Now, this is student work. Look at that. Pretty incredible, huh? Beginning art students, and you can see there's a little bit of highlighting and some shadowing. We've got this one. This has that starburst, that onomatopoeia, that pow behind it, like the pop artists used to do. This is more student work. Now she was very advanced, the student. It's like she worked from a photo. She did a great job. Don't be intimidated. You don't have to do that. This is a much simpler one. It's more looks like the ice cream that you will learn how to draw in the other videos. But you can notice there's highlights and shadows, and then she did this really interesting technique. This one's not dessert at all. You don't have to do dessert. Just clear it with me first. It's pop culture, which is the pop artists were doing pop culture. This is Panda Express, and he used 1-point perspective in the box. And a beginning artist, I'm telling you, you guys can do this. A lot, the shadows, etc., etc. This one, she did all these highlighting, which is what makes the glass pop out. If you want to draw glass, the best way to draw glass is you don't draw the glass, you just draw the highlights on it. And then this one I love, it's so imaginative. It's dessert pizza. This is chocolate dripping down, and there's marshmallows and candy corn. And then she did it with a background of, these like confetti flags. So you get to use your imagination, experiment, have fun with it. I have on this Google slideshow. Oh yeah, and these are a couple other ones. They're pretty basic, simple, but they did really great work with the shadows and the highlights with both of these. And then on this Google slideshow, which I will give you'll have access to in the dessert folder. There's just some other dessert ideas that go in with pop culture. And then of course these POWs, they're not desserts, but it gives you more inspiration in case you want to do something like that. Because remember, the pop artists were also looking at comic books. All right, well, get started and have fun.